So far, the focus of this course has been on developing and refining plots in an interactive R session using base R graphics functions. These functions are unusual in R in that they are called for their side effects. They generate plots, but typically don't return a value. Some R graphics functions, however, do return values that can be used in subsequent calls to low-level graphics functions to enhance the plot. These functions typically return results invisibly, meaning that the return values are not displayed, but they can be captured with an assignment statement. A specific example is the barplot function, whose primary side effect is the creation of the desired bar plot, but which also returns a numerical vector giving the values of the centers of each bar in this plot. Here, we have created a horizontal bar plot that shows the frequencies of each value of the shelf variable from the US serial data frame in the mass package. The return value is captured in the vector mids shown here. We can then use this vector with the text function to place labels, here the numerical shelf values, in the center of each bar. One reason we have focused primarily on plots like bar plots and scatter plots that involve one or two variables is that representing relationships between three or more variables is harder. Even so, base R graphics does provide functions that allow us to generate plots involving more than two variables. One example is the symbols function used here. This function generates extended scatter plots where the size and shape of the points can be determined by other variables. In this example, the x and y positions of the points are determined by the variables sugars and calories from the US serial data frame. By specifying squares equals US serial $shelf, we are representing each data point by a square whose size is determined by the shelf variable. Also, the argument BG is being used here to specify that the background color of each symbol is also determined by the shelf variable. The symbols function offers great flexibility in representing multiple variables, but it is important in using this flexibility to be certain that the resulting plots are not too complicated for us to interpret, especially if we plan to share them with others. Finally, it is important to note that plots generated in an interactive R session are inherently volatile, disappearing when our session ends unless we do something to save them in external files. One of the simplest ways of saving graphical results is to write them to PNG files using the PNG function, as shown in this example. These files have the advantage that they can be shared as email attachments or embedded into documents or presentations developed using many different software environments. Now it's your turn. The following exercises ask you to use each of the functions described here to see what you can do with them.